Welcome to Reach the World ASAP. My name is Pastor Scott Griswold and I work with ASAP Ministries. Today I'm visiting Minneapolis, Minnesota, where there are so many Somalis who have moved here. There are 85,000 Somalis in America, but 25,000 of them live here or more. It's growing. They keep coming here, and in this year, with about 2,000 refugees coming to the city, of all those people, 45% are from Somalia. If you have studied the history, you know the incredible civil war that went on there, the difficulties, the challenges, and the awful persecution that happens for Christians. It's like the second or third worst in the world. But here they are in a country where there's religious freedom and a chance to know about Jesus Christ. Have they? Do many know? Of all the people that we've been able to find out, only 30 in this entire city are Christians. And I just met 3 of them. Of those 3 people, one of them was a Christian because his father was a Catholic. Back in Somalia, when he was young, he learned about Jesus, and at 11 he was baptized. He grew up, married a Muslim, and then he came under attack. Because of this, because of being married to a Muslim lady, people were angry with him. And one night, in the middle of the night, he woke to the sound of shooting. People were after him. People were coming to get him. As they tried to climb through the windows, shots rang out, and his little boy in his arms was shot and killed. They kept running, they kept fleeing with that little body in his arms until 30 kilometers away, they were able to find a Christian's home and be safe. They moved then from town to town until they came to the border of Kenya. And there they were able to find a way for him to be repatriated as a refugee into the United States. They found peace, they found safety. And yet even now, because as he shares the gospel and shares with other people, people come at risk. There has been a young man or 2 who have lost their life because of their stand to follow Jesus. It is not that way with everyone. Others come and find freedom and find their families receive it and care. Then I also met a man who was so excited to tell me his story. He just wanted to tell it to me so badly. I could feel that he longs to be heard. He longs to share with his brothers and sisters who need to know the Jesus that he met. When he was a young man growing up in Somalia, he loved to play soccer. Their family were banana farmers, but the best thing he could imagine was being a soccer player. In fact, they called him the Brazilian Somalis. One day he had a chance to go to China, an opportunity to study and to learn. And again, there, the thing he loved to do was to play soccer. But while he was there, a young lady from Australia approached him and began to share about Jesus with him. He looked at her, pulled out his ID, and he said, "Hey, I am a Muslim, stop talking to me." But she didn't stop. She kept sharing. She wanted him to know the saving love of Jesus Christ, who shows what the Father's heart is really like. And so finally, she said to him, "So you want me to stop talking to you? I will shut up if you will take this gift." Okay, he thought, please do, please be quiet. And he took the gift from her hands. It was the Gospel of John. He took it home, he said, "I'm not gonna read it." He set it aside. After 3 or 4 months, he finally just had to reach and pick it up. As he began to read those precious words about Jesus, Jesus who says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life," his heart came over with an incredible conviction, and he said, "I have to talk to that Australian again." As they shared, as they talked, after about another 3 or 4 months, he received Jesus as his Savior. Immediately, his family cut him off. For 20 years, they would not speak with him. Only now, some of them are beginning to come and to be touched and loved by him. Now that he lives here in the United States of America, his niece has met him, and she is listening, she is learning carefully that there is somebody named Jesus who she must consider carefully for the great and marvelous work that he has done. And then the last story I have to tell you about is about a young lady who I'll call Frances. Frances was a teacher of the Quran back in her country as a young lady. Her horror, though, the difficulty, the great heartache of her life was when she saw, during the Civil War, her father, her uncle, and her brother killed just right in front of her. With a heart broken, she and her mother packed up and they headed out to the ocean. It was the only way they could find to escape. And they got into a boat loaded with 60 people. They traveled, no water, no food, nothing, no protection from the sun. They were cracked and dry, and then suddenly no wind. There they were, stuck out on the ocean, hoping to get to Kenya. when suddenly a wind came out of nowhere and began to push their boat closer and closer until finally they reached the land. They jumped from the boat, they crawled out, and the people eagerly and excitedly welcomed them. In time, they also were able to go as refugees to the United States of America and begin to adapt to life in a land of freedom. As she was here, she made friends, she studied nursing, she learned more, and one of the men she met, a young architect, began to pray for her. He gave her a code name, Faith, and asked his prayer group to pray for her. And finally one day after they were playing basketball, he said, "I'm going to the church with my wife, will you come?" She said, "No, I'm not going to go there. I teach the Quran." He said, "Please just come for 5 minutes." She said, "Okay." And in she walked. She saw all the people praying with their eyes closed. She said, "What am I doing here? I'm a Muslim." And then God began to work in her heart. She left. She had to get out of there. She felt uncomfortable, had goosebumps all over her. But he also placed in her hand the New Testament. And eventually she picked it up. She began to read in Matthew and in John and everywhere it was talking about love, love, love. She wasn't sure. She wasn't sure what to do, but she called out to God. She said, I want to know you, whoever you are. You see, she was a devout Muslim, someone who wanted to follow what was right. She made 3 trips to Mecca with her mother. And so with her prayer lifted up to Jesus, she went to sleep. Lifted up to God, not Jesus. But in her dream, that's exactly who appeared to her and said to her, "It was I who protected you when your family was being killed. It was I who sent the wind to send the boat to the shore. I am the one who's been watching over you. Come and know me and my salvation." This is the beauty of what God is doing among Muslims in America. What he longs to do through you as you pray for people and reach out and share the love of Jesus with them. You don't go to some place like I'm standing at right now, the Somali mall, and begin to debate with people. But you can come and simply say, I want to know you. You are my neighbor now. Will you tell me about yourself? Will you tell me what it's like to be a Muslim here in America? What it was like in your country? And as friendship is there, genuine friendship of concern and care and love, God will open up his own opportunities to touch their hearts as you pray. We have prepared a study guide, a kit to help people know how to reach out like this. It's called Reach the World Next Door, and you can get it from ASAP Ministries. I invite you to study, to learn, to befriend, to pray, and together, let's reach the world ASAP.